Hello and welcome. I'm here to shed some light on one of the best known rumors in gaming history, getting General Leo. Now I'm sure most of you have heard all the rumors about getting Leo. Most are convoluted and time consuming, such as fighting 4,000 battles in the dinosaur forest. I was recently inspired to find a means of getting Leo without cheating. The first I heard that getting Leo was possible was during a video that was made by Awesome Games known quickly with Essentia's run of Final Fantasy VI. I then found an in-depth guide to a glitch by the user named Elephant Gun. I will go over how to do the glitch, the route, and how I came to my results. First we want to start a new game. Just play through the game as you would normally up until Edgar's castle. After getting to Figaro, go ahead and talk to Edgar and start the event. Get up to this point where you have to talk to both the soldiers and then Kefka to proceed. This way you have full control over Edgar. Go outside and save your game. This is actually very important that you do this. It's also recommended you do save on each slot just to make sure that the glitch works. This is also going to be the only time you save through the entire run. Now if you're not confident, you can cheat or level up on the Elite River. Proceed through the game as normal until you get to this point on the floating continent. Come down to the airship and jump off. Now be sure to hit liftoff and not find the floating continent, otherwise you're going to have to go through the entire thing again to get back to your airship. Now here's where the glitch takes place. The trick is, you have to hold the acceleration before you hit the menu button. If you let go of the acceleration and then hit the menu button, the trick will not work. This can be held for as long as you want, either a second to 2 minutes, whatever you're comfortable with. Now you can kill yourself or let the enemies do it for you. It doesn't matter. For anybody who's played this game before knows the result of killing yourself. You will go back to the most recent save and you'll retain your levels and the time you've put into the game. I don't believe you'll retain any of the items or steps or money that you gained during the process. Now what the game does, it tells the code that you are on the floating continent in your airship, outside your airship but you also own one, and also outside the airship but you don't own one. So this airship is completely temporary. Once it lands, it's gone. Now the best place to land would be Zozo. Everywhere else will freeze the game. Or not everywhere else. You usually either will freeze the game or you just can't proceed far enough to do anything. So your safest bet is Zozo. Now like I said, once you land, it disappears. So just go through Zozo with Edgar as normal and get to Terra. As you can see, all your party members are here. But the way this game works is, since we haven't gotten any of the characters except for Locke and Edgar, it replaces all the characters that you haven't gotten with the Moglins that you found during the beginning when you were protecting Terra, the ones that were helping you. So you got Kutan and Kupek, are two of the ones that I can think of. So after this event, go ahead and proceed through the game as normal until you regain control of your airship. Once you regain control of your airship, go ahead and park it anywhere near South Figaro. As long as it's in this area, that's where you need it to be. Be sure to grab Terra, Locke, and Edgar and bring them through the game as normal to find Sabin and go through the Bannon split quest. I forgot to mention, after you die you can save at any point that you want. And make sure to name your characters and get all the items that you want for a real game in this game playthrough. This is going to be your permanent save. Now, once you get to this point, pick Sabin's side quest first, followed by Locke's. Once you get outside, go ahead and jump in your airship. The reason why we got Celeste before this is so that way if you try to get her later, the game won't freeze. Now head over to Narsh and proceed with the story again. Once you enter Narsh and finish the cutscene, be sure not to leave. You'll get booted out and you cannot get back in. There's a scene here that requires Bannon's dialogue, and since Bannon isn't here, it will freeze the game. Same goes for the side passage. You'll just stand there and you can't move. Instead, we're going to climb up the mountain and start the war. You can talk to any one of the party members and they'll move out of your way so you can talk to Bannon. Now once we finish the war, grab Edgar and Locke and head over to Figaro Castle. The reason why we did the war is so that we can get rid of these two events. We need this cave open for later on in the run. Once you get back to Castle Figaro, go ahead and talk to Locke. This is as far through the event that you're going to go. and this is why we kept the event, to regain control of Terra. This is the only other way to get her back apart from going to Zozo. Since we've already done that, we can't get her back that way. So the reason why we brought Locke with us is to have a second party member. If you try to go into the airship and change characters, Terra won't be there. And I'm sure you can take somebody else with you, but I take Locke just to be safe, because he's one of the only 3 characters that are available in that event, just to make sure that nothing freezes. So now bring her and talk to the Espers. Now play through the game as normal. Once you get to the World of Ruin, get your airship and get Terra, and land your airship somewhere in this area, otherwise you're going to lose it. Now Terra is the only required character for this part, and what we're going to do is we're going to finish off the event in the Castle of Figaro. And what this does is once the event is finished, it changes the values of everything to act as though you're actually in the World of Balance right after the castle sinks. And it's kind of like you're in the World of Balance, but you're not. You're in the World of Balance overworld, but any town that also exists in the World of Ruin, once you enter a building, it changes to the World of Ruin town. But when you leave, it's the World of Balance again, so you're kind of in a limbo. You should also get Locke and whoever else requires a party change, such as Umaro, unless you plan on keeping Mog in your party. If you attempt to change party members, Leo will disappear from your party. He's not supposed to be in the roster, so you're stuck with whatever party you end up with, which is going to be Edgar, Terra, and a blank spot. So personally I prefer Shadow, but if you prefer Mog, then you don't have to worry about getting Umaro immediately. Go to the top left of the desert once the event's over, and you'll find your airship. The game restores the X and Y of the airship, so essentially the World of Balance and World of Ruin are the same map. So we're going to go down here and we're going to trigger this event, so now we can get rid of it. Now, if that soldier would be there if the war was never ended, it acts as if, you know, they're trying to block you off. If you've played through the game normally and explored, you would know that that's what happens, and they just make you run away. So what we're going to do is we're going to finish this event and we'll see what happens. Now that we've finished that side quest, we're back to the part where you play as Bannon, and this is where the magic happens. Fully functioning General Leo. Now, the way the game works is that in the coding, there's one special slot for characters, which would be Kefka, I believe Medyun, Bannon, and Leo. And the way you trigger Leo is by gaining control of him in Thamasa. And the way you trigger Bannon, on the other hand, is when you first talk to Edgar. See, this is why I talk to Edgar and get control of Edgar and save it, rather than saving it right when I get Locke and Terra. This way I never have to trigger that event when I try to do the limbo by coming to the World of Balance. Now you want to park in this area right here, just to make sure you don't lose your airship. Now if you were to park over here, you would definitely lose it. It'd be on a different island, and I don't believe you can reach it, or actually probably be in the ocean. So what we're going to do is we're going to park somewhere in this area. I believe this will be okay. And then we go ahead and take the ship over to from South Figaro to the other place, Collinghan, I think it was. So there's 2 different ways to get back to the World of Ruin. One is via ship, and another way is using Edgar's castle. Since you can't use the castle, since after that event it goes underground, and there's no way to get it back from underground because you've already done all the other events. The only way to bring it out is to finish the war, and again, the war is already done. So this is the only other way to get there. Now, unfortunately, you have to go to this town from ship, and then you have to go back because the ship's over there. So, I mean, what can I say? This is all you can do. So Leo is 100% functional except for in the Colosseum. When you use him in the Colosseum, he'll swing like twice and do 5 damage on each hit, and then it'll freeze. The only way it won't freeze in the Coliseum is if you get sneezed away immediately. And, well, apart from beating the game, you can play them through the entire World of Ruin. As you can see, I'm in the World of Ruin. Still got Leo. Now we gotta go get our airship, which is really close by. Or it should be anyway. Yep, here it is. I just barely got it on the map. See? Now we can go wherever. Castle's back. And I guess that's it.